Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter, and this chapter is related to the statistical techniques, census, and sampling. In previous chapter, we have studied that how we can collect the data. So we have studied that data can be primary and data can be secondary. So in case it is primary data, we ourselves are going to collect the data. Now when we are going to collect the data, right, so we can have five methods we have studied, right? So related to these methods, further two more ways are there in which we are going to collect the data. So this is census method and sampling method. Census method and sampling method, briefly I will tell you the difference in between the same first before starting with word to word. So census method and sampling method. Let's say if I want to collect the data regarding the all commerce students and about their pocket money. So I want to collect the data from commerce, all students, right, A and B section both, and about their pocket money I want to collect the data. Now let's say that in both sections the total number of students are 100, right? So when I'll be collecting the data from each and every student, right, from each and every student I'll be collecting the data. This means I will be collecting the data from all 100 students. I will not miss any student. So this method will be known as census method. We are including all the people under population. Population means whatever your study is there, right, related to that, how many number of people are there. So whatever the total number of people are there, out of total number of people you are going to collect the data from all, right? So this is known as census method, that we are not going to miss any person under study. On the other hand, sampling method means, what does sample method means? Sampling method means I am not going to collect the data from all 100 students. Rather than I will choose any 20 or 25 students or 30 students out of 100 students, and that in my opinion are good, right, to be collected the data. So I'll be selecting 20 or 25 students in order to get the data for pocket money, and whatever the data I will get from all these 25 students, that I will that is a sampling method, right? And on the basis of these 25 students, whatever the data I will collect, whatever the results I will get, so the same I will apply, same I will think that this applies to the other 80 or other 75 students also. One simple example I will tell you, that sometimes it is not possible to go for census method. It is not possible to study each and every item under your study. So sometimes population can be large. If population is large, for example, when we talk about that you have to collect the data from lakh of students, so from lakh of students, this is not possible you to approach each and every student. So what you will do, you will select any 1000 or any 2000 students out of this 1 lakh. So how it is going to affect you? So whatever the results you will get from all these students, you will apply it on other universe also, and this is known as sampling method, when we are not studying all the items but we are taking a sample out of the same. We can see the examples of sampling in our daily life. Your mother is cooking rice, boiling rice for you. How she makes ensure that the rice are cooked? She is not going to check each and every grain in the utensil. Rather, she will just select few grains of rice, and then she will check that whether the rice is being boiled or not. So this is in the kitchen also we apply sampling method. You go to doctor and you have to get your blood test done. Now in order to get blood test done, doctor is not going to take whole blood out of your body, right? Doctor is going to take just a small amount of your blood, few drops of your blood, in order to get it tested, and whatever the result will come on the behalf of that small sample, it will be applicable to your whole body also. If there is infection, then we will say that in the small blood, if there is infection, we will apply that there is infection in the body, right? So there are some examples of sampling method. So sampling method is the method that we use in our daily lives. So now let us read it word to word. First of all, census method. So census method is survey that includes every element of population is known as census method. As I have already told you that if lakh people are there, we are going to take the data from lakh people. If 10 lakh people are there, then we are going to collect the data from each and every person from all the 10 lakh people. If there are 100 students, then we are going to take the data from all 100 students. We are not going to miss any person. So this is also called as complete enumeration method. Complete enumeration method is the alternative name of census method. Example of census method is, you people must be knowing it, that every 10 years in India census is being conducted. Now in the same census, the data related to whole India is being collected. What is the total number of population in each and every region, how many number of males, females are living, how many males, females are educated, how many are uneducated, how many are employed, how many are unemployed, how many are living in rural areas, how many are living in urban areas. So related to the different people, the data is being collected by the government of India every 10 years. So in this also, in census method also, the data has been collected. For example, if the total population of India is 130 crore, let's say, so then under census method, the data will be collected from all 130 crore of population. There will be the data collection for each and every person. So this is the example. Census conducted by Government of India. The last census was conducted in 2011. Now in 2021 there will be another census. Okay, so if we will see the merits will be that whatever the results we will get, that will be accurate and reliable. Of course, when we are going to get the results from each and every person, so whatever the data we will be getting, that will be accurate and reliable data. Then there are less chances of biasness. Why there will be less chances of biasness? Because we are not going to miss any person, right? We are going to take the data from each and every person, and every person with his own will is going to give you the data, going to give you the information. So whatever the information we will be get, that will be free from biasness, or there will be less chances of biasness. Then extensive study of diverse items. Extensive study of diverse items. This means you know that India is a diverse country. We people have diverse cultures, diverse languages are there, right? Diverse foods are there. There is food diversity also. You go to South India, there is a separate type of foods. In Northern India, Punjab, Haryana, there is separate types of foods. So in India, there is diversity almost in every field. Folk songs are diverse, right? So in order to study all these diversities, what we have to study, we need to collect the data from each and every item of the universe. So that is why when we have to study diverse items which are not similar, right, so then we have to study the whole population. Then we cannot go for sampling. Okay, then complex investigation. Now one more example I will give you of extensive study of diverse items. So in one utensils you have put rice also, you have put peas also, you have put potatoes also, you have put kidney beans also. So all the things are boiling in one utensils. Now if you will pick only one potato and you will see that this is boiled, this does not mean that the rice and the peas and the kidney beans has been also boiled. In order to check that, you have to check the kidney bean also, peas also. So this means if we want to study the diverse items, we have to go for census method. We need to take each and every item. Complex investigations. whenever this point is similar to the third point only, complex investigations, when investigations are complex, so we need to study the items separately, right? So when population is diverse, we need to study each and every item in a separate way. For example, in my classroom, for example, in commerce section, right, 10 people are there from Bangalore, 10 are there from Karnataka, 10 are there from Jammu and Kashmir, 10 are there from some different regions. So this means each and every student will be different. Then what I will do, I cannot go for sampling method, then I need to collect the data from all the peoples. So this is how complex investigations are done under census method. Then fifth point is indirect investigations. Indirect investigations, like we want to study the problem of poverty, we want to study the problem of unemployment, we want to study the problem of brain drain or corruption. So such kind of problems are better understood by census method. Then there are demerits. Demerits, this method is expensive. Why? Because we need to study all items. So in order to study all items, we need to spend more money. Then large manpower required. So large manpower, we need more people to collect the data. If we are going to study each and every student of Punjab, then we need to employ more people. Then unsuitable for large studies. See, this is possible for the government to collect the data every 10 years from each and every person living in India. But if we talk about private people or private organizations, they cannot collect the data following census method, right, for large areas. So for large areas, this is not applicable. Then not universally operative. This census method we cannot apply in a universal manner. There are some instances where census method gives good results, but on the opposite, there are some instances when census method does not bring good results. So that is why this census method is not universally operated. It does not work everywhere.